Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bilco. This is their part number RPRS360N. This is a spring lifting mechanism that is rated at 360 pounds for their S20 models that are more current, where there is just a single lifting mechanism. So according to the factory, if you have an S20 model and there's a single unit on that, it is possible that it's the 360. And in order to help determine if that's the right item, let's take some dimensional properties of the item. So when it ships to you, first of all, it's going to ship partially compressed. That pin is set through the tubes, holding the unit partially compressed, and that's how you'll install it. So when it ships in its partially compressed form, from the top of the cylinder down to the base of the cylinder, looks like it's about 13 inch. Okay, partially compressed. Naturally, your question is, what is the length of the lifting mechanism? Well, it's 13 inch, but you might be looking at it fully closed or fully open, whatever the case might be. What we know is partially compressed. The outside diameter of the tubes, though, may be a better way to help determine what we're dealing with. The outside diameter of the upper tube is 2.576. 2.576. The lower tube is 2.156. 2.156 right here. This is going to include this upper bracket that you see here. Okay. Basic dimensional properties of this item. Overall width, about 3.5. Overall height, just shy on 3 inch. Overall width, about 1 inch. This gets attached to the other side of the lid, and then of course you'll bolt it just like that. Okay, could look something like that when it's basically open. You'll also get you're also going to get the bottom boot. You'll push and snap that on into place. The dimensional properties of this is definitely made of aluminum. Overall width, about 2 3/16. Overall height, about 1 13/16. Overall projection, about 2 1/16 or so. Those screw locations, let's take a look at that. About 1 1/16 or maybe 1 inch center to center. Let's check those mounting dimensions, the location of the holes on the lid bracket. Center to center appears to be about 2 inch. Okay. Then after that, you'll get the fasteners, of which I did drop one earlier. Let's see, you're going to need a total of 4, well 5 actually. You'll need the hex cap screw and the nut for this. Okay, you'll get that. You're going to need, of course, two hex cap screws to attach this to the lid. Then, of course, your 2 hex cap screws and nuts for the sidewall bracket. Okay. Now, this video is simply to serve as visual evidence of what this item is. There's no way to tell if this is the right item. There's no way for us to tell if this is the right item for your application, and that is because simply the factory doesn't publish a bill of materials for each of their units. If they did, that would be awfully nice. If they had a list of every model and how it's gone over time and what the parts bill of materials is or was for that unit, that would allow us to thoroughly understand what was used. So, if the dimensional properties of this lifting mechanism do not utterly match what you're working on, and if the diameter of the tubes are definitely different, let's find out what you need. The sure way to do it is to, if possible, find a serial number. And I say if possible, meaning if it's on the sidewall of the unit. Not all Bilco roof hatches have serial numbers on there. There was a time when they did not use those. Also, yours may have had it, but for whatever reason that label is now gone or deteriorated. In absence of the serial number, let's get the size and the composition of the materials. Is it steel or is it aluminum? And along with the size, we ought to be able to, working with the factory, better determine exactly what your needs are. So there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Bilco products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now they also have in the parts bag some installation instructions, and they are listed down below as well. And let's take a quick look at those. Well, let's go through the installation steps. Open door to the full open position. Remove nut from top of the old spring tube. That's going to be here. Disconnect that first. Your unit will be fully open, so there will be very little compression on the spring. Hold top of the tube firmly and remove the bolt. The tube is spring-loaded. It's not substantially spring-loaded, but it is. Remove the old tube assembly. Retain the nut and the bolt. Keep the old one. Install the new pre-assembled, install the new pre-compressed tube assembly. Do not pull the pin until assembly is securely fastened to the unit. So they're saying don't cut this tie and don't pull this pin until you are reattached. So obviously they're assuming you're going to reuse the sidewall, the existing sidewall mounting bracket. Unless it's compromised, I see no reason to change it for the sake of changing it alone. Attach bottom of tube to lower connection by aligning groove in tube with pin and tapping lightly with the hammer. So you're going to get that in there, and they just basically want you to carefully get that pushed into the bottom sidewall bracket. Slide bolt through the upper connection and secure with the nut. Cover may have to be maneuvered slightly to locate that upper connection. Once assembly is securely in place, cut the nylon tie and remove the pin. If replacing hold open arm washer, clamp arm to the arm guide. So if they're saying if you're replacing the hold open arm washer, clamp the arm to the arm guide. This talks about changing the hold open arm, which you're not doing in this case. That would be the last 4 steps of the installation instructions. And again, these are linked to down below. If you're not sure what you need with roof hatch material, don't guess. Reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. Serial number if possible. Photographs, absolutely. Size, the depth and then the width, then what it's made of. Aluminum, steel, etc. And we'll be able to at least get you closer to a solution, with the goal, of course, being the actual part that you need to bring that roof hatch back into proper, safe operating condition. Any questions on the Bilco RPRS360N replacement lifting mechanism or any other Bilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.